Alright, my next little project here is going to be inspired by this video I found by Mike's Wooden Creations. Small parts planing jig. I like the ideas he has. I'm going to make a couple of adjustments, I guess. But that's where I got the inspiration from for this. And here's my idea of it right here. Let's see if I can sit down and show you what I mean here. The thing that I'm going to do here is a little bit different, I think. Mine is going to be 2 feet long. So you got to have some nice straight pieces to make this thing work. So let me hide this one side. And this, kind of the key dimensions here are this bed, I'll call it, needs to be the same as width as your plain blade. And then this rabbet here needs to be the same. It has to give you enough room for the plain body. So mine is currently, I've got this at about 3/16 of an inch, this dimension right here. And then you got these wedges that work independently, but you've got a positive stop back here. I don't know if I can show that or not. There's a little gap there. So as this wedge moves, that bed goes up and down. So I don't have an interference stop on it, but if I went that far back, it's going to stop and can't go back any further. So then as you crank this up, and this is the other part I guess I'll tell you, I've got this figured for a 1/2 inch depth maximum, and then up to 0. So as you crank the knob, and I've got these wedges working together, as you crank the knob and push the wedges toward the center, that raises that bed, and it'll raise it up to 0. It'll actually even go past it probably by the time I get done with this thing, but you're not going to go past. So that's what I've got in mind there. The thing that I don't show here is you have to have a stop back here on the other end. Just one. You don't need it on both ends. To hold your work, to keep from being pushed out as you push your plane. So that's what I've got going on. And my first order or thing to do here is to make these wedges, and then this bed. Now I've already had a piece of white oak down there, and that's why I'm going with 2 feet, because it was already glued up and it's straight and flat and it's been around for a couple of years at least. But I didn't have any material for the wedges, so I glued up material for that. That's dried, I hope, and cured. Then I'll just lay out these dimensions. This is 15 degrees here, this ramp dimension. And I've got to get those cut and matched up so that things move smoothly. And then to show, to keep these tracking correctly, this thing has to be kind of a nice precision fit. I'm thinking I might have to put a couple of pieces in here, like railroad tracks, to keep those things from binding or twisting. We'll see. And then I have to have a way of locking this thing in place. And that's what he's got over here with these knobs. Here, these are locking knobs to hold that ramp once you get your desired depth. So he's got 4 of them, and I'm not sure that that's all that necessary, but we'll see. Anyway, first order of business, make these wedges and get them matched up nice and smooth, and get these holes drilled for my 1/4 thread that I'm going to have going through there. Let me show you, I'll show you the wedge here. Oh, here's the other part too. Let me get to this part. Here's the bed, and I've got to create a tunnel here for the threaded rod to go through there. See if I can get that there. Now you can probably see it better. So that's, I think that's 3/4 by 3/4 deep. We'll deal with that when we get to it. Then the other part, here's the wedge. Yeah. So the wedge has got, this is going to be the tough part really, to get this through hole nice and straight and clean. And then, you know, get it mated up with that threaded rod. So anyway, got a little work ahead of me. So that's what I'm attempting to do when I go down in my shop here. Get these wedges made, drilled out, and then I'll get the bed made so that everything comes together. Okay, here we go. This is that piece I was telling you about, this nice piece of white oak, all glued up and ready to go. And then I've laid out my wedge cutouts here, 1.5 inches up, 15 degrees, and I don't know what this dimension is here, but it doesn't matter. So I've got that done. And then this is the blank I glued up for my my wedges, and that is big enough for me to get 4 of them out of here in case I screw up. So I'm gonna start with 2, see how I do. But I can get this is 1.5 inches, 2 I believe. Yeah, 1.5 inches. Oh, sorry, this is 1.25 inches. That's 1.25 inches. So I've got plenty of room here to make a bandsaw mark. I think that's how I'll cut these. This will just be on the chop saw. Cut this square, drill my holes first, and then cut them apart. And then this definitely, well, not definitely, I'll cut these vertical cuts on the table saw, this one and this one, but this cut here will have to be done on the bandsaw. And then I'll have to just true these up with a hand plane or chisels, I guess. That's going to be, like I say, the most difficult part of this build. So let me get these cut apart, or I'll get this cut apart, and then I'll come back. I got to change blades here and make this cross cut. This is located 2 inches from the end, and then it's up half the width of this piece, which is 2.5, so it's up 1.25 inches. And then you got your wedges. those cuts done. And I lied to you. These ends were not square, so I had to square them up before I did this. And now I'm at 23 and just over 7/8. So no big deal. This still measures 2 inches from the end though. Okay, my hole is located a 1/2 inch up from the bottom and centered on the piece. I don't know if you can see this or not, but I got a double line there, 1.25 inches, or well, just under 1.25 inches from both sides. So I've got to split those 2 lines to get it dead nut center. I'll do the best I can, and then we'll see how it turns out. So I've got to get this hole drilled nice and perpendicular all the way through this. And like I said, this is 3.5 inches, 3.25 inches. So we'll see how this goes. All right, I got this as square as I can get it, and I'm gonna use a step drill setup here. I'm gonna drill. I think this is like 3/16. Then I'll come back with the 1/4 inch. Let's see if I can't get all the way through. At any rate, let's see what happens here. I don't think I got all the way through, but I went as deep as I could. Yeah, there's nothing else I can do. I'll just release this, do the other side. Get my square and make my double line there, make sure I'm going to hit my mark. Alright, looks good. Well, no it doesn't. I think my stop has moved a little bit. Gotta get that. Yeah. That's better. Okay, I'll get a brad point bit that I have and finish these up by hand. Got plenty of room here to hold that bit steady. Let me see, maybe this'll, well, this will probably reach too, but yeah, I'll go with a longer bit so I can get more of it into the chuck. I think that'll reach. I think I should be okay. I don't think there'll be much blowout. A lot of wood here anyway. Okay. All right, that came in just above the line. I thought it was, you know, from my CAD drawing, I thought that was supposed to be right. The hole should have been a tangent to that line, but that could just be layout. But it looks good. Looks like it'll spin good. And it looks like it's nice and true. So I'll get these cut.